We're from light to dark, and the first thing we're going to be doing is putting the white on. Now, I use a nice solid white here on the edge, like that, and then for the hairs in the ears. Now you notice I've holded the pencil slightly differently now. This is because I'm using it to create the effect of the hair. Okay, now there. Now I don't have to be too fussy. What I want to do is put a foundation in here, but I'll be returning to that later on. Now the other thing is we've got to have a stopping point. So here I'm going to put at the top of the head, underneath the ear, I have a nice solid colour. And you also notice, you see that I'm twisting the pencil around as I go along. Now the idea of this is so that we get all the strokes in the direction of the fur that I'm following. Don't worry about those little marks, they'll all disappear eventually. Okay, now there we have. Now that's a sort of solid. Coming down here, there's a little bit of light that follows up through here. I'll come in close in a moment for you, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the scale and how this develops. Okay, now that's number one stage. Right, going a little closer for you to see better. Now I'm putting the white on here in the inner ear, but you notice that you can still see the paper coming through. See that? That's not a mistake, it's deliberate. Because what I want to do here is to put a base colour for some stronger colours that are going in. So that gives me that, a little bit in there. That'll do. Now you can rub with your finger, which I prefer to do. When we come in with our pink, very, very lightly with our pink, and we rub that in like that. You see the effect? Now if we were to add a little ochre on top of that as well, not too much because we don't want to go too mad, we get that effect. Well, what you bother with the white for, Cole? Now, let me tell you why we don't. Let me show you. If we were to use the white on its, first of all, you see the effect we've got. All right, we rub that in, rub it with me finger, and we put the pink, and we put the ochre in, and we rub it, and we get exactly the same effect. Brilliant. But what if we do miss the white out? Well, we put the white in, we put the pink in, look at the difference that makes, yeah? And then we put the ochre in, and then we rub it with our finger, we get that. Not good. This is why we put a base in. Now, when I've said this before, we put a white base in, people put white all over. Yeah, you don't do that. You only want to put the light colours in, and that's, it could be white, it could be grey, it could be ivory, when you need a light base. You see the effect of that? So I'll complete the rest of the ear and show you what it looks like. Right, well that's got the ochre and the pink. And what I'm doing now, this is the darker ochre. What I'm doing now is giving a little bit more strength where we need it. Quite a light touch, you don't need a great deal of weight behind these. And then we're coming into the edge there just slightly, so that we've got a bit of a line to follow and disappears there. We don't want it. And the same on that edge there. And we want to go on the outer edge there. Now you'll see the reason for that in a little while. And I will go all round, but I won't bore you too much with it. I'll just show you what's needed. Now here, I'm coming back in, putting the same ochre, but you notice now, I'm coming against the white. Okay. And a little bit more strength just up here, like that. And once again, just touch your finger so we get that nice and blended, like that. And a little more. Now I'm going to put a little bit more in because I'm going to put a darker colour in there. In a minute. A little bit more ochre so that we get a good base. Now when we're using the darker colours, we have to be careful that we have a nice, good, strong colour underneath it, like we've got there. Using brown now, we go. Good. Now again, you can use your finger or you can use one of these again. Now these are very useful for this sort of thing because you can come in much more precision good. And we bring it into the white at the bottom there. And then we can just fade it away as we come up. If you haven't got one of these, you can use paper blender or you can use your finger. Like that. So now we've got a nice sort of strength. Just a little more to finish off with. I'm not going to keep blending because I want the rawness of the colour to be there. Okay, good. Right, I've completed the inside of the ear. Now we've just got to do the finishing touches to the ear. I've done all around that side to save some time. And now this is with the dark brown I'm using here. Okay, and I've previously put on the ochre, the ready ochre. Now I'm using the dark brown. I've already done that a little bit in there. Here we need a little bit more strength, just a touch. Now, just to add a little bit more punch just to that section there, I'm going to add just a smidgen of black. Don't want very much, just a little bit. See, wham, it goes. And then we can just soften it down and just fade that in with our brown. And here we need to, this needs to fade out again, so we use the ochre just to fade it into the main. That's good. Now just round this edge, I'm going in with the ochre, and we're nearly there. Just here, you remember I said this has been retained all the time. The first area I put in. Now because I'm using the a nice pointed pencil, I can now use the pencil to come back into here to give me a little bit of shading into the darker areas, and then up. And a lot of you email me, and I shall mention these as I go through and say, how do you get your white hairs like that, Cole? Well, now you know how I do it. If you're like me, you've got a spare white, like I've just got. I carry 2 or 3 whites with me. Don't have to stop. That looks good. Now just here, that area, this is another area. I've had lots of people asking me how I do it. Well, what you do is you twist the pencil as you go in. You don't want to make it regular all the way down, so we just occasionally put a little flick, so it makes it more random. There you go. I told you wouldn't see those marks, and there you are. You can't see them anymore.